Hey, everybody. How's it going? Good, great, wonderful. I'm tired. I always say that. That's because I always am. Let's see, updates this week. I'm doing the Counter Spy conference in Atlanta. I should probably turn my volume down here. I'm doing the Counter Spy conference in Atlanta on May... Let's take a look at that calendar and figure out when. I believe it's on May 2nd at like 12:30 p.m. I'm just doing like a little demonstration and Q&A. I don't think it'll be live streamed or anything like that. So if you're in the area, come on down. Still playing Infrasound on the 15th of May. That's been frustrating. I've been like kind of like during the day doing my normal stuff and then by night doing the visuals for that, but I still haven't gotten like confirmation about the specs on the visuals, which is, you know, I've actually hired somebody to help me with the visuals and then they need it. So it's kind of jammed the whole thing up. And yeah, one of those things where I start asking around, do you buy tickets for this? Anybody I know buy tickets for this? Would it be, because otherwise, you know, I don't really have a super impressive set. I rooted a dog robot. That's fun. Really, it's funny because like rooting it may have been easier than just using it in its full edu mode. Like if you buy one for the high price to use it for research and stuff like that, they cost a lot of money. And I just bought one of the cheaper ones and then rooted it to gain all those features. But it's kind of funny because the setup for the actual use of it is way more difficult than breaking the security in it. I also filmed some dog robots around Atlanta last night. Stayed out till like 4:30 in the morning. Just it was pretty fun. Oh, you know what? Here, since we can do this, I could show you some. I also filmed some dog robots in like 1500 frames per second. And now the dogs are going to bark because that's what they do. Let's wait for them to... Okay, anyway. So we'll listen to them bark while this happens. This is a carpenter bee in 1500 frames per second. It's pretty rad. I think this is around 1500. Nice, huh? Cool. I geek out on this stuff so much. And of course, this is just like a record, turn off. Like it's so fast, but you know, you get to see the movement of their wings. I actually recorded this like last summer when I was doing the bird video. I did some with this camera. This camera is incredibly difficult to use. It's such a pain in the ass. It's the last thing but portable. Oh, hold on one second. Take some kibbles. Got to transfer the dogs to another place. Sorry about that. All right, next up from a baby chicken's eye closing. I think that this one's like closer to like 1,000 frames per second because this normally would take a little bit longer. But nice, huh? They have this like crazy alien eyelid thing that I'm sure some people have seen before. Okay, now for the good stuff. Here's some of my hot footage of my fake child being attacked by my fake dog. Yeah, none of it in slow motion is that destructive, but I did get a lot of destructive footage because this thing can really, really, I mean, it could like knock over a giant garbage can that's full of garbage. Some of these aren't going to be that wild and entertaining. Although the kid's head fell off like constantly, like anytime that it reached any sort of friction, its head would just, there we go. Pow. There goes the head. Some leaping into. I mean, I should probably play music to this, right? I do not know about the Jack Dark Darkware plugins. Oh, you can't see the dog coming in from behind my stupid head. It's a good dog. Let's cut to the action. This one looks like Twixered. Looks like AI slow-mo, but it's not. I can promise you that. I did this the hard way. And I had to wait for a day when it had had as much sun as possible because, oh yeah, here's the dog with another dog mask. I think its head stayed on. One more of this. Anyway, we're playing with Augmented Persia. Augmented Darts. I don't know. It was kind of funny. I was like, what new plugins have come out? And then I remembered that I had the Augmented Persia, but then I forgot the name of it, so I just put in Augmented Darts. Augmented Darts would be kind of bad, right? Isn't that kind of like the last thing you want to augment is your darts? I'm not sure I know what augmented means. Does it mean like disturbed? Like bent? Let's search. Let's search augmented. Augmented definition. The composer used an augmented chord to create suspense. Okay. Made greater, larger, or more complete. I did not think that that's what augmented meant. For some reason, I thought it just meant like distort. Interesting. A musical interval. Make one step greater than major or perfect. All right. Well, thanks, Arturia, for making me look fucking stupid with your naming schemes. Well, pigments means like, I was going to say something funny, but I couldn't because I'm not funny. Yeah, so I wonder if they just have like normal. I mean, all the augmented stuff is really, really, really underrated in my opinion. By me too. Like I do not use it enough, and I absolutely should use. Well, you know what? Honestly, if I were still, well, yeah, because shit like this happens. Honestly, if I were still writing music for television and stuff, I would be using it all the time because it's tremendously more enjoyable than using Contact or something like that. And generally has, if you like go through the presets, it's generally a little bit more inspiring too. And this is my first. And then, of course, you have your morph thing. Actually, this should... No, not with FL, it's not. I was going to say, this should all be, like, set up with my astrolabia, but it is not. But I can use... I have a little MIDI controller right here, so I will just do it this way. Boink. No, not reading it. I should probably set this thing to a port. Actually, do I have it set up? Maybe I don't. I have one of those Novation controllers. I only bought it for... Okay, maybe it didn't detect. Strange. Maybe I need to refresh my controllers. Oh, who fucking cares? All right, fine. Fine, we won't do it. Yeah, I just installed this. I'm not sure why that's happening. But that's bad, right? Like, literally just ran the installer last night. Let me read that chat on this window so I'm not staring up into the sky. Apologies for my Arturia so expensive vibe last Arturia stream. It's really cool stuff. Yeah, I mean, you know, they're not cheap. Their stuff ain't cheap. I do think that they're kind of like, considering, I mean, just when you compare, when you look at like the overall market, considering that they're kind of replacing Korg and Roland a little bit. I like that because I feel like those companies are so fucking out of touch now. And I hate to, I mean, I know people who work for both companies and I don't have any like friction with them or anything, but let's be honest, it's kind of rare that they release anything that's inspiring now. That Roland is just kind of got lost in its own echo chamber of previous gear that it released, you know, many years ago, and releasing new iterations of it over and over again. When it's, you know, it's just kind of like, there's more stuff you could be doing with synthesis. Korg, I think, has just run out of money. That's probably my best guess for that. Yamaha, pretty disorganized company, in my opinion. But yeah, I just feel like they're kind of like, and I feel like their audio department's segregated, not even their motorcycle MRI machine department. Like, I feel like just their audio department in general is a little bit too segregated. That might result. But anyway, I'm getting long-winded in this answer. Yeah, I feel like Arturia, I mean, their software teams work really hard. They make really good, legit, professional software. And usually I tell people to get it on sale, because I do think that it is a good deal on sale. I feel like if they could like bring their prices down by 40% permanently on software and ditch things like plug-in boutique, like ditch those third-party things that take that 40% or, you know, however much they're, you know, between like 30 and 50, depending on the partnership. Like, I feel like that would actually work out well for them. You know, they would see a few less sales from the plug-in boutique type of storefronts, but I think they're a big enough company to kind of eclipse that and get past it. Anyway, but yeah, no, share your opinion. If you think it's too pricey, I'm not gonna bite your head off. That's totally fair. Ben, I like your science videos. Just some validation for you to make more if you feel like it. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I don't, there's nothing stopping me from making more science content. I don't, my entire life, I've had people sort of, well, I don't know. Yeah, I didn't go to college, right? And so my entire life, like the first 20 years of my adult life, I was scared to say that I researched stuff, right? Because I didn't go to college, because I thought I was like doing, anytime I would study something or anytime I'd get into something or make something, I always felt like I had imposter syndrome. And I just like fucking slammed my head through that drywall. I was just like, fuck this, I ain't doing this anymore. And then, you know, immediately the moment I started doing that, I got taken seriously, and not on YouTube by, you know, organizations that do scientific research. So I'm not really, yeah, somebody telling, like, of course, the first thing, every video I make, there's always people saying, like, this guy's not a real scientist. And it's like, yeah, they say the same thing about, like, Bill Nye. They say the same thing about Neil deGrasse Tyson. Like, literally, you could find a bunch of people saying he's not a real scientist. And it's like, I think he's kind of the definition of a real scientist. Augmented VSTs, going down this. I saw one one comment I wanted to respond to that I saw on there somewhere. The Zebra 3 price. That's why they're not on the stream this week. I was like, yeah, finally, it's not going to pay that much for it. You know, just because I'm only going to use it for the stream, just due to my workflow, I'm probably not going to be using it for anything else. Did you see the Black Mirror with the Boston Dynamics dog? No, but everybody's telling me to watch it. I had some people here for, some people from the Atlanta, I don't know, some media organization came by, and I had like the dog out and about, and they were kind of, I mean, it wasn't like walking around, but they saw it, and then they were all like, it's like that Black Mirror. And I was like, I've not seen that one. I don't know why I kind of stopped watching Black Mirror. I guess I missed that chat. Let me go into the live chat and see if maybe it got accidentally blocked or something. Oh, no, it did. Weird. Okay, let me unblock that. Sorry. Very valid question. All right. Anyway, there is a question that seems to be blocked in my main folder. Great guy, Benn. What did you think about Squarepusher's latest album? Is he also a friend of yours? I can picture you, him, and Richard hanging out in the 90s. The only track that I heard was that one that he kind of released early, and it's very harpsichordy, and I didn't like it because I don't like harpsichords. And I had literally, like, I had a long conversation with Kettle, with Reimer, about this because he likes harpsichords. Most people don't really mind harpsichords. For some reason, I fucking hate harpsichords. And that was just kind of like a nope. You know, I listened to it all the way through and I was like, yeah, but the harpsichords, I just can't. I don't know. There's something about the tonality and maybe the like cultural connection of harpsichords that I just don't like. You know, it really does make you think of like, it makes you think of, you know, the type of person who owns like 10% of the property in London drinking tea or something. There's some sort of weird connection to it in my head. Maybe I didn't hear much harpsichord when I was a kid, maybe. Like it wasn't, you know, just wasn't an instrument I found out about until later. And then the rest of the album I didn't listen to yet, but I do plan on listening to it soon, maybe tomorrow, maybe on my drive. I have a drive into town. And do I hang out with Squarepusher? I have hung out with Squarepusher. But I don't hang out with Squarepusher. We never really hung out in the 90s. Like in the early 2000s, we hung out I would hang out with Luke Vibert when we would be in the same city. And then on particular tours, Tom and Luke would be out together. And so, but yeah, I think like the last time I was in London, I don't think that Tom came out I didn't see Tom. I saw his brother. Oh, I hang out with Andy. Like Andy, I'm close with. I've toured with him and all that stuff, but no, I've not hung out with Tom. I don't think Tom and I have very compatible personalities, if that makes any sense. His personality is kind of how you would imagine it. He's like, I would describe him as a rigorous person, a rigorous, energetic person. And whereas I would describe his brother, Andy, as like a very, for lack of a better term, like a loose, energetic person. Like Andy will go along with anything. Tom is a lot more discriminatory about any situation that he's in. And I think that both of them are lovely people, but I think that Tom and I probably would not get along that great if we were like touring together or something like that. But yeah, but no, I mean, I've legendary musician and huge inspiration, and yeah, I'm glad he's sharing this earth with me. Next sim selection will be the harpsichord. I mean, fine, I'll do it. I'd love to hear more from women creators. Your video on female producers was great. Eye-opening. Yeah, I mean, it's, I feel like I didn't really have a solution there. I feel like I didn't really have like a call to action other than, honestly, the best call to action that I could think of. And it seemed like from reading the comments years ago, I haven't looked at the video in ages, but it seems like the best response that I got from that is a lot of, like, in the comments, I saw a lot of guys being like, oh my God, I've been negging women. Like, they didn't realize it. And then they're like, oh shit, that is really shitty to do. I don't want to do that. And I feel like that's actually, you know, so if somehow a video like that could come out in like every industry where that happens nonstop, maybe it would be actually impactful or something. But you know, that's kind of like a feel good takeaway from it is a lot of guys just didn't, myself included. I'm sure I've done it at some point in my life. I'm sure a lot of guys just don't realize that they're negging. They don't realize that like demonstrating your value to someone by offering unsolicited advice actually demeans them a lot of times. And when it's happening from multiple people at once, it's very easy, especially for like a young woman trying to get into music production, to be like, God, I must suck. I'm terrible. Why is everybody fucking offering me advice? This is awful. Like, yeah, you don't really think about what it does to the other person's confidence. You're just trying to demonstrate value, even if it's not in a sexual way, just as, I mean, yeah, I mean, people do it to me in a non-sexual way all the time. And I don't think that they're like trying to belittle me. I think they're just trying to stand out in the comments or something like, hey, you should totally try this. When, you know, maybe if I didn't have as much experience in being shouted at on the internet, I might look at that and be like, oh, I must be using the wrong thing because I'm still on my journey with this particular topic. Yeah, but anyway, I don't think I would do another video on it unless there was some big one. What I wish that I had like the time and scope to do. It's not that it was like more of a matter of runtime. Like it just seemed like it would be way too out of character with that. I did wish that I could kind of cover trans musicians in that as well, because it did feel weird to have this super binary video that was, you know, when in fact, you know, as I'm sure a lot of people watching this realize, like the community and demographic that watches my content, it has a very large trans population. And so like, I feel like it wouldn't even be that out of whack. You know, it wouldn't be like some sort of mainstream channel dedicating an entire section to, you know, a demographic that only makes up a small percentage. There's a much larger percentage in my demographic. But at the time I was like, that's kind of its own video. And then also at the time, it's like that it's a really, really complicated topic that I don't have much experience in. So, you know, I don't want to say it's on the shelf. I don't think I have it like planned out, but I do feel like that, like trans people in music, there's definitely a special connection there, but I just don't know how to peer into it. But yeah, as long as they're not using harpsichords, I'm fine with it. Wonder if we have a harpsichord. It's like kind of a harpsichord. A lot of trans women are currently shaping the future of electronic music. Currently? Currently? I mean, I would argue that there's not been a time in history when that hasn't been happening. But you know what? I always say this. I say this more in person to people than I do in online, just because I feel like it can be taken out of context so easily online. I don't think about things like that when I think about trans people. I don't think about like, I mean, I do, but I don't think about it like, I don't give them merits of like, they're really contributing to electronic music. For trans people, I mean, they're really making way in my microscopy. You know, I don't say things like that, not out of any sort of like, not for any sort of woke or righteous reason. I just don't think of it that way. Like, I just think it's incredibly absurd for person A to decide or judge how person B presents themselves or how they prefer to be called or what bathroom they want to use, whatever it is. Like, it leaves the scope of the trans arguments or the trans debate so much, because I just think it's absurd for anyone, not only, even if it's only for self-righteous reasons, if you're the type of person who needs to change everything around you at all times. And, I can't have any people of this race living in my neighborhood. It makes me uncomfortable hearing Spanish and blah, 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 all that shit. Even if you are that person, it's just like, why the fuck? How do you have time to worry about this? There's so much shit to worry about in the world. There's so many things to think about. And if you have the iota of time to actually not worry about all the things that you need to be worrying about in your life, then why aren't you just like looking at the wind blowing through the trees? Why are you worrying about what your fucking neighbor dresses like or presents himself like? So yeah, that's sort of how I look at it. And then when it breaks into legislature and when people are like, oh, drag shows need to be banned. And so I'm just like, what the fuck is happening? This makes no sense whatsoever. And I think through that filter, a lot of people see me as a trans ally. And that might be kind of what a trans ally is. I don't know. Am I making sense? Like, I just see it so much more as a human rights thing than a trans thing. Like, I think, I guess to like put it in short form, and I've made this point before, like my entire life, the way that I dress and the way that I style my hair, the way that I shave or don't shave in this case, the deodorant I put on, the type of shoes I choose, all that stuff has been manipulated by the beauty industrial complex my entire life. And I didn't know it because I was a kid, and then it was kind of too late to really change it all that much. And part of that, like that kind of makes me feel a little bit chained down in my identity. Like that's kind of like, man, I didn't really get to explode into the world the way that I wished I could have. Yeah, I'm not like upset about it, but at the same time, it's not a good thing. And trans people are like, nah, fuck that. And they just say, fuck it. And they go ahead and they do whatever they want. And it's beautiful. It's amazing. So I just can't wrap my head around anybody not being accepting of that. Like I find it inspirational. And I wish, as many problems as trans people have to deal with due to the fucking egos in our world right now. But I'm kind of jealous of it. I honestly am. Like, I think like the two most free, like libertarian things you can be is trans or an undocumented immigrant. Like those are two people who just like have all the rules telling them they have to do a particular thing, and they say, fuck you, and they go do what they want. And it's awesome. And I feel like I don't have that much courage sometimes. Anyway, so yeah, Arturia Augmented Persia. Also, I hate how competitive sports and little kids always come up in trans. Yeah, the sports thing is just like, man, I've heard so much of that from just being a combat sports fan. And I've heard so much of that. And it was, and I mean, sometimes, I think I maybe have talked about this before. Mr. Bill said he basically had like a mastering engineer who was bitching about trans women in sports or something like that. And a bunch of people told him to stop using that mastering engineer. And then he was like, why? And then he looked it up and he was like, wait. And kind of in his immediate response, which was, I'm sure, on Twitter or X at the time, he was kind of like, wait a minute. So you're telling me that I could just like have an MMA fight and beat the shit out of a woman and everybody would be okay with it? And that was his sort of response. And then everybody, of course, piled on him and tried to cancel him. And he reached out to me. He was like, hey, man, I think I'm being canceled. Like, what am I missing here? Because you know more about like, the professional fighting world and stuff. And I was just kind of cracking up because I was like, I'm sorry this is happening to you, but like, why do you think you'd be able to beat the shit out of a professional fighter if it's a female one? Like, why do you think you'd stand a chance? Like I don't know if you know this, but they're kind of hard to hit. Like, break that down in your head. What are you going to do? Take them on the ground? No, you're not. You're going to punch them in the face? No, you're not. You're telling me you're going to like spin kick them? Like, what is the mechanism in which this fantasy of where you would beat somebody up because they were a little bit smaller than you or a different gender? But he handled it with grace. He literally like deactivated his account and read about how long it takes for testosterone treatment to actually make it a fair fight in the hypothetical situation where that would happen. And he learned a lot about gender biology and stuff like that, and then just sort of explained what he learned. And of course, you still have people being like, boo, he's transphobic. And it's like, no, that's like literally the best case scenario when someone has a take like that. Like they go, oh, huh. And then they learn something and they emerge as a wiser human being as a result. And then other people can learn from that too, who may have, because I'm sure a lot of people are reading that and they're like, yeah, wait a minute. Men can't just beat up women. And then they actually got his full perspective on the other side of it. But yeah. Tell Mr. Bill F you for taking down his podcast, please. Are his podcasts down? What happened to his podcast? I thought they're still up. I'm going to play a show with him tomorrow. Or tomorrow, why did I say that? I'm going to play a show with him. I think I don't know if he's playing at Infrasound. Maybe he was deliberating on playing Infrasound, but we had talked about like meeting up and maybe even traveling together. I didn't know his podcast was taken down. No, I just saw a post from him on Instagram. Maybe it's back up. I don't know. But yeah, he's a good podcaster. Especially now that he's been sober for years now, but I feel like when he got sober, his podcast went like it was the quality of his podcast got increasingly better. Yeah. Well, not to get all Joe Rogan about, sorry, reading the comment, if people aren't allowed to learn, then what's the point of anything? Not to be all Joe Rogan about that, but, I think in a lot of those sort of cancellation campaigns, obviously, like a percentage of it is just having a person who's influential and finding a reason to shit on them, which is hard to avoid, like when Elon says something stupid or does something, or when Trump says something that I always have to be like, okay, like this is ridiculous. I want to shit on him publicly, but is it that ridiculous? Like, would it be that ridiculous if, I don't know, Bruce Willis said it? Would I actually be like, usually it is in Trump's case, but I feel like a lot of times you have to kind of remove the identity away from it and be like, is this criticism fair? I feel like I caught myself doing that with Elon a few times before he went way off the rocker. Like he would say something and I'd be like, oh, this fucking idiot. And I would tweet about it or something. And then, I don't know, looking back, I can't think of any examples off the top of my head right now, but I do remember having this sort of like, that was not the smartest thing to say, but like, it didn't really deserve the amount of noise that was made about it. Oh yeah, I just noticed the artwork. It actually is really, definitely not AI. The Infrasound lineup is absolutely mental. Honestly, last time I looked at it, I didn't know a single other artist on there, but that's because I'm so disconnected. Oh, this is beautiful. Yeah, I should play my entire set in Infrasound. I'm not sure. Am I actually missing any of this shit? Maybe I'm not. Let's see. Oh, I am. Guess I'll reinstall it. I'm missing a lot of shit now. Maybe the drive's not spinning up or something. I've got a question about the Patreon Discord. Do you have to keep paying for continued access, or do you get permanent access once you pay for the Patreon once? I have disconnected it from the API due to the API never working, but also that gives you the benefit of continuing to stay in the Discord without having to pay. Yeah, it's not like a paywall. It's more of a troll wall, honestly. Like, our Discord's been incredibly calm and cool. I mean, God, there's Discords that I've been a member of, or that I've seen, that have 10% of the population mine does, and they have nonstop problems, whereas this one's just very chill. And I think it's literally because you gotta pay $1 to get in, and that no troll is going to keep paying dollars. And if they want to, that's fine. I'll happily press block for $1. Yeah, that's why I haven't made it any higher. Like, it's been $1 since the beginning. And yeah, I mean, I thought, like, what if I moved it to like $2 or $3? Like, adding, you know, by far most of my Patreon members are $1 members. And it was like, man, I feel like individually people really wouldn't give a shit between $1 and $2, but it would make such a huge difference on the end, on my end of it. Like, it would expand budgets a lot. But then I figured, in some countries, $1 is a lot of money every month. Like, it's not totally fair. And then I figured I just sort of waited out, where it's like, you know what, when I am low on cash in my budget, I don't really think that anybody gives a shit about a 60-second ground news ad, or something like that, if I need to do that without giving money to charity. And yeah, you know, as long as it's on the end of the video, that's my big stipulation with stuff like that. Yeah, I feel like that's better than, you know, having to change the prices around to like match budgets, and then I'd be making too much money the following month. That's like a good way to just sort of, if I needed to, give myself a bump, which, you know, I may, depending on if I hire people and stuff like that, when I hire people. I mean, honestly, if Patreon doesn't work, or if you literally can't spare $1, like, I'll happily give you an invite to the Discord. It's not about the money. It's just sort of like having some form of gate to keep the kind of people who make 20 different accounts just to troll a community. I kind of expected these to be a lot more. I was kind of surprised when they announced this library, because I kind of expected it to be more Persian sounding, like an actual ethnic library, which like doesn't have that much use. Just, you know, in terms of like for Arturia to launch an entire product, it's kind of like, yeah, we have all these synths, and we have this, and we have this, and this is our product line, and here's some ouds. It's like, what? Here's some ouds that sound unnatural because they're augmented. But it doesn't sound like that at all. It actually sounds great. Not that ouds sound bad, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I could see this being used way outside of like a world music thing. I hate ouds because they're really fucking hard to play. That's why I hate them. Because I have one and I never got anywhere with it. But I do love the way they sound. I love broken sample libraries. That's my... Any tips on growing an audience for music without selling your soul or live performing? Not in 2026. I don't know that I would have had any 20 years ago, but it's kind of like the thing that everybody's trying to do and not getting anywhere due to just the way the industry is shaped. But, you know, the good news is that making music is really fun and completes you and is a very healthy thing to do. So you don't necessarily need a giant audience to get pleasure from it. In fact, one would argue, not that I've had like, you know, Taylor Swift audiences or something, but, you know, as from being a professional musician for 2 decades, like I can tell you that I feel like I get more happiness when it's not paid attention to than I do when it is. I would firmly say that. Hence why I don't release music nearly as much as I used to. Because like I don't really need to, and it's so nice to just make music and not have to show it to anyone. I've never played a Saz, no. I like how Suno's CEO saying that is still one of the least stupid things a CEO said in the last, like out of shit I've heard CEOs say in the last year. It's just like, that one was like, yeah, that's pretty bad. Nowhere near as bad as, you know, the middle of things that CEOs are saying every day. I want some more plucky things. Let's see if we could find some. I mean, keys might be plucky sounding. Or strings. That's delicious. What's happening right now? Interesting. Let's try port 13 instead. There we go. Just so you know, you can sequence out of pigments. Big patch here. There's a nude. Find the most efficient way of doing this. Bring that down to a B. Actually, let's do this. Then randomize. Oh yeah, I forgot I had a sequencer in the actual thing too, so we could utilize that. Maybe lower is better. More emptiness in the register. want something like backup chorus. Whoa. Very retro. This is kind of what I want. There used to be this thing I used to do in back in the day when I would use backup vocals. I would record. I mean, this is like when I lived in Wicker Park in Chicago. I had a vocal booth, and I would just put the mic up to the wall, like not touching it, but just like on it, and then I would sidechain pounding on the wall, but it would be like in real time, and it would sidechain out the vocals. It was very bizarre, but it was like not noticeable in the final mix, but it worked really well for me for some reason. I feel like some of the keys are getting stuck. This might be overloading the rhythm. No. I might take the 7th out though. very inspiring melody here. Very complicated. Number 67, where are you? Or 64, rather. love how like random things pop out that I didn't program. That's what I love about these massive ensembles. Yeah, I love it when you have like so many sounds happening at once that these new things come out where you're like, I don't know what synth that is, or I didn't program that, but they're just like hallucinations from the psychoacoustic overload. I don't remember what plugin I was playing with when my mom said, can I play with that? Looks fun. Have I seen the movie? Has anyone seen the movie Moon? Yes, a while ago. I like Sam Rockwell. That's all there is to that. I like that. I feel like I just love his character. I feel like anytime him and Owen Wilson are two people where like if they're in a movie, I'll watch it. I'll just be like, yeah, okay, I'm down. I feel like I didn't watch that Owen Wilson movie about the puppy though. Peak Rockwell is Box of Moonlight. Has anyone in this watching this ever seen that movie? Box of Moonlight. I'll show you the artwork. It's phenomenal. It's one of my favorite films of all time. It's like that beautiful 90s style of directing. God damn, pop-ups everywhere. All right. Wow. It's not universally loved the same way that I love it. 59% tomato meter, 81% popcorn meter. Weird. I thought this movie would have done better. It's about it. Ironically, it's not that disconnected from my life. It's a man, an aging guy in Chicago. He lives in like the Chicago suburbs, and he has to come down south for some sort of. He comes down to like middle of Tennessee for some sort of. He like works in engineering or something, and yeah. Basically, he meets Sam Rockwell via a car accident. And Sam Rockwell's like kind of the polar opposite. Like he has no responsibilities. He lives in this like ridiculous half house or whatever. And he just kind of gets stuck down there for whatever reason, but they end up forming a misaligned friendship. And yeah, like it's like two different people with two entirely different perspectives in life. And they just kind of hang out in this small town in what seems to be like rural Tennessee or North Carolina or something. Yeah, excellent film. I actually bought a book about it, about the making of it, because I was so curious about what went into making it. It's not like it doesn't have like fantastic scenes of any sort or, any sort of like fantastic imagery, or it seems like a pretty low budget film. Makes me wonder what the budget was. I mean, I'm sure. Oh, there we go. Oh no, that's the box office. 795,000. Tom DeSillo. What else did he do? God, he doesn't look kind of like an asshole. Just that particular picture. Living in Oblivion, Stranger Than Paradise. Oh, he did Coffee and Cigarettes. That was an interesting film. Huh, yeah, I've not seen a lot of things that he's made. Awesome. Yeah, I wonder if it's on any streaming networks. It's like such a chill film. That whole late 90s era of like when indie filmmaking first became a thing, when, not first became a thing, but first, when I guess when people could just like pool money and buy a bunch of 16 millimeter film and like make something. But that's like kind of what defined the next 20 years, right? You had Bottle Rocket. That's a good one. That's actually Owen and Luke Wilson's first film. They made it with Wes Anderson, and that kind of launched their whole career. Another rare one that a lot of people may have not paid attention to. Spanking the Monkey. It's it's I don't know how to describe it. It's so hard to describe in 2026 without it just sounding way off from what it actually is. I mean, it's more or less a dark comedy about incest, but it sounds like there can't be a comedy about incest, but they managed to do it. And Jeremy Davies, if anybody knows who that actor is, he's like that really kind of awkward actor. He has like the lead role in it. And I mean, it's fucking crazy. It's such a good film. It's like, yeah, low budget film. And I had another recommendation for anybody who's looking for movies to watch, like great 90s indie films. Oh, Men with Guns. It's a Mexican film in Spanish. It's probably subtitled. I mean, I'm sure it's subtitled. I don't know if it's dubbed. But yeah, Men with Guns is outstanding. Oh man, I wonder what the rating on that is. It's funny because I've like never really looked up these films. These are all, yeah, these are things I like saw on the Independent Film Channel or with Men with Guns. I bought this. I think I bought this DVD in Mexico. I had never heard of it. And I think I just like wanted something to watch in the hotel or something, like, 20 years ago. Yeah. Wealthy doctor whose wife has recently died. In spite of the advice of his children, he takes a trip to visit his former students who now work in impoverished villages. His trip soon becomes a quest, politically awakening him when he finds out that one of his students was killed by the army. Excellent movie, super deep, super tragic. Do I have any other ones? I'm trying to think if I have any other movies that like are very, very unlikely to have been seen. Ones where I ask people, like I feel like I've just moved them out of my rotation because everybody's like, nah, I don't know what the fuck that is. But yeah, I think I hold Box of Moonlight the most fondly, despite it being like the lowest rated in this in this list. Another outstanding film that probably is a lot more famous now that the director is Alexander Iñárritu, but an outstanding Mexican film, like easily in my top 5 films I've ever seen, is Amores Perros, which is like, I wonder what that rating's like on here. Rating. Am I missing this somehow? Oh, there it is. 8 out of 10. That's not good enough to me, man. I would give, this is one of the highest films I would rate, period. Anybody who's seen this? Well, Amores Perros means like loves a bitch, I guess, right? It kind of was like, Gael Garcia's, it kind of put him on the map. Most of these actors like that you recognize, they probably started here. It's the first feature film directed by Alejandro Iñárritu, who did all the other really challenging films on this list. Well, let's see, director previous. Bardo's, interesting. Bardo didn't do that well either. He did The Revenant. He did Beautiful, which I'm not sure how many people saw that. It's Spanish, as in he released it in Spain. Babel, obviously, huge film. 21 Grams, and Birdman, of course. Birdman 7.7. Jeez. How'd The Revenant get a higher rating than Birdman? I thought Birdman was, it's when I saw I saw it in the theater. Like anytime this guy releases a movie, I go see it in the theater. And when I saw Birdman, I was just kind of like, oh yeah, of course. He brought it to the next level. Like it was kind of, if anybody who's ever seen it, I'm not really spoiling anything. Like the whole movie is just about it's like the most meta film ever. And I kind of realized that right in the beginning because it's Michael Keaton being this washed up actor who at one time played Birdman. And of course, Michael Keaton at the time was a washed up actor who had at one point in time played Batman. So it's like this super meta film. And after like 5 minutes, you realize like, oh, this is all in one shot. And then you're like, how long is this shot going to go on for? And then you realize it's Alejandro Inarritu. And you're like, oh, this entire film is going to be 1 2-hour long shot. Like without any, I mean, I'm sure there was some editing magic going on, but yeah, the entire thing looks like it's just one person holding a camera following around the characters for 2 hours. Yeah, anyway, Amores Perros, so it's 3 people, it's 3 short films. Movie's long. Does it say the runtime? I think it's like 3 hours long. You're going to have to like get some tortilla chips and hot salsa and a beer or a bottle of wine. The movie weighs on you. Like it exhausts you. It's a film about tragedy, right? So it's like this, it's an emotionally exhausting film to watch, 2.5 hours. But it's like 3 short stories that are completely separate except for a car accident where they all get in the same car accident. And so it's like these 3 different lives connected through a car accident, which for anybody who's ever seen Babel, it's 3 stories. They're not like segmented, but it's 3 stories connected through a gun, through a hunting rifle. Yeah, but well, it was, sorry, somebody said, it was all in one shot, but wasn't. Yeah, I mean, of course it wasn't all in, but the way that it's designed to look like it's all in, just like a run and gun shot in Birdman. My mom says, let me guess, they're all tragic. Yeah, they are all tragic. They're all about losing love to a tragedy. But how that plays out would surprise you, I think. Like, you walk away from the film learning more about yourself, if that makes any sense. Like, it's hard to watch that film and not feel existential at the end of it, especially with like the third and final story. Because it's more or less about a homeless guy, but I don't want to spoil it. It's more or less about a homeless guy, but like not in the way that you would think. Like it's, oh, good to know that the samples are there, that I don't have to reinstall the entire thing. Not that it takes that terribly long. Today I built the SDK for the dog robot to get it to work with my rooted version. And that shit took like 4 hours. And I was in this kind of important meeting with a bunch of attorneys, not related to a video, but related to something else. And I'm not in a lawsuit. Let me start off that. I'm not involved in any sort of litigation. I'm involved, but I'm not like, I'm not the target of it or anything. And yeah, it was funny because I was like building this SDK in a virtual machine, and the entire time my face was just like just glitching out because like my CPU was just working overtime. Ben, I just started a new job jumping into the hi-fi audio world, working at an extremely well-known distributor. Do you have any advice for a newbie in the industry as a fellow pro audio lover? I'm trying to figure out where you got hired, but yeah, you don't out yourself. I'm like, title, huh? Like I'm trying to figure out where it is. Well, congratulations. I don't know if I would call myself a pro audio lover. Like I don't choose, like, for example, on Tidal or something like that, I don't choose the high quality just because I know I won't be able to tell the difference when listening to Tidal, if that makes any sense. Like in my car or on my headphones while mowing the lawn or, you know, whatever I'm doing. I feel like it's like, yeah, let's let the data center work less hard for this. But, and I don't listen to FLACs or waves. I generally, if I encode an MP3, it's at V0. I know someone in the audience right now is going, oh, but yeah, it's very rare that I can tell the difference. And I come from a time when a device could only hold so much music and you had to be a little bit more careful. Barkegi hater. Yeah. So yeah, Amores Perros would be highly recommended. I don't know if my mom, I don't know if you'd like it, Mom. Not sure. It might be a little too much for you. And I recommend my mom a lot of movies and she refuses to watch them, but Amores Perros, she said, well, let's just make popcorn then. I don't know. Maybe we could do that. I feel like my mom would like Box of Moonlight a lot. There's not much, there's really no violence or anything like that. It's a very calm, fun film. It's a very chill film. We come from the time of Creative Labs MP3 player. I don't think I ever owned one of those. I had this big ass heavy MP3 player. I don't remember what it was called. I feel like I'll never be able to find it again. It was like kind of an obscure thing. I have no idea where I bought it, but I had that for like 10 years. And I think I had it because it was like, I think it had like a gigabyte or something, which at the time was kind of unheard of. You're getting bismuth ads nonstop on Instagram. Yeah. I feel like Lunacy is the only audio company that advertises on Instagram. I'm speaking way out of, but I'm sure there's more than this, but in my algorithm, I feel like every single audio company that advertises on Instagram, anytime I buy this stuff, I'm usually like, oh, why'd I fall for this shit again? And then I see one for Lunacy and I'm like, oh, well, I dig all their shit. Oh my God, Arcos Jukebox. Is that it? That sounds really familiar. Ew, that is pretty close to what I had. I'm going to load up an image of it. Yeah, this thing. This is pretty close. This isn't it, though. I must have had an Arcos something. Oh my God, I think it's this one. No, a little different. Maybe it was an early version of this, but it was very much like this. It had this stupid screen that it didn't need. And it crashed a lot. Yeah. Yeah, I remember it was like this unusable screen where I was just like, oh man, I wish this just had like a simple little black and white. Wow. Well, that's a blast from the past. Oh yeah, Minimal. They do. Well, Minimal and Lunacy are pretty good friends. I need to cover some of Minimal stuff. I've not really done much of their stuff on stream. I think I did one like ages ago, but I should really check out their stuff maybe next week. That'd be fun. Maybe I could get some free licenses through my Lunacy Connects. SanDisk, Sansa. I'm honestly surprised that it's not easier. I mean, I'm not surprised, but I wish that there was something like I don't know. I wish like ESP32s, like something like an ESP32 could be an MP3 player, because I feel like you could just do a lot more. And it's not hard. I mean, you could spend 30 to 40 bucks building an MP3 player, but they're just not as universally compatible as an ESP32. So I guess I'll just buy my SanDiscs. Yeah, I will check out the minimal stuff. I'll write myself a little note on my arm to remember that. Yeah, the RPI 0, I could see that being a good one. Although, how much power does that use? I did something with that recently. Oh, my mom says my dad has her hooked on Landman. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Landman could have been a lot better, but I feel like it's for a certain type of person, and I might just be a person who maybe criticizes things a little bit more than others. I think like Landman. Anybody who's seen it and anybody knows who's watched other Taylor Sheridan shows like Yellowstone, which I tapped out of, I couldn't handle it anymore. Yeah, I feel like Taylor Sheridan has to like read some Albert Camus. He has to read a couple Albert Camus books, and he has to go to therapy about whatever happened to him in his prior marriage or relationship. I don't know anything about his personal life, but like his shows, all the women are fucking crazy out of their, like so irrationally nuts. And then, yeah, all the shows that he has his name on are just about middle-aged men, like being young again and proving that they can beat the lower generation or something. Just like, all right, dude, it's been 10 years now that you've been making this show with different settings, same painting with different colors every single show. And Landman was like the newest version of that. And it kind of, yeah, I don't know. It kind of hurt a little bit seeing Billy Bob Thornton play that role. But I did watch both seasons of Landman. I made it through it somehow. I feel like the second one, I was just, Taylor Sheridan's it's so weird to me because some things he does are so brilliant. Like he does things that really make you feel like you're there, and you feel the vibe of the characters and the surroundings and the life there that he's painting so well. But then it's minimized by the stupidest shit where like Yellowstone, like peak Yellowstone. You have Kevin Costner constantly bitching about California and like, you know, owning hippie girls and stuff and then fucking them and like, you know, and they're super obnoxious and ignorant. And it's like, why is this written into this show? Like this was actually kind of a beautiful, a beautiful story. But you had to like put this weird political statement in it. We're just like, I get it. Like it's one, you know, he's free to believe whatever he wants, but like, what the hell does that have to do with the show? Like it was just so bizarre. It was as if he really just wanted to write in a hippie girl so Kevin Costner could like own her in a debate. And then the exact same thing happened in Landman, where this girl, you know, where he's like explaining why like clean energy doesn't work, blah, blah, blah. You can't. It's like this thing wouldn't happen in real life. You wouldn't, like an attorney for an oil company would not come out and then start talking about how windmills are better than oil to her client. Like this is not something that happens in reality, I'm sure. The women are nuts, which makes male viewers feel justified while somehow empowering women viewers because the women of the show fit the boss bitch archetype. I don't know. Yeah, I feel like it's a little more than that though. Like I feel like it actually pushes beyond that. In Yellowstone, I couldn't handle it. I couldn't handle the woman, the main girl. I don't even remember her name. I don't remember anybody's name in the show. Rip. There's somebody named Rip. Some guy, Rip. Yeah, Rip's girl. That's the only name I know from the show. But yeah, I just couldn't with her anymore. I was just like, this character has no place in this show in the way that she, like, it just doesn't make sense with the rest of the story. And then in Landman, it's just like, yeah, I don't know. His girlfriend / wife / ex-wife, whatever her name is, and then his daughter, like they're both fucking idiots. Like they're the dumbest people in the world, and they're just written to be. to the point where like you're just laughing at how stupid they are all the time, or you're meant to be laughing at how stupid they are, but really you're just laughing at how stupid the writing is. Landman has that bit about trans not liking themselves. Was a very weird storyline. Yeah. I totally forgot about that. That weird write-in of a trans person who just complained about smells or something. Or no, she didn't like the smell of the trans person's ferret or something. Yeah, that was brutal. That was just like, what the hell is going on? It's so interesting to see how sometimes trans people are written into shows. You know where I didn't finish this show either because I just kind of got sick of it. Oh God, it's that German show. It's that German show, that sci-fi show. Oh, why can't I remember the name of it? Darkness or something, or it's about the cave with the time shift thing. I don't know. I don't remember, but in it, Dark. Yes. Thank you. Darkness. Yeah. Like I love the trans role in Dark. It's just like this prostitute who lives in a van. It's like, yep, that's the local trans person. That's what they do. They have sex for money out of a van. I'm not in the middle of the woods. They just sort of park on the edge and do that. Yeah. Although a great transgender character, I thought, like one that I thought fit really, really well. Like it all came together as Mr. Robot. Well, there's two or three trans characters in Mr. Robot, but only one main one. And that was, like it was so interesting to like view transgenderism through the lens of one of the most powerful people imaginable, right? That was pretty awesome. And sort of like the weird, not weird, but interesting ways where they would switch genders when they had to, or not when they had to, but when they wanted to. Like it started not being coherent. Like in the beginning, it was like it was a man in the business world, and then it was privately it was a woman, and then like later on in the series, if I remember correctly, they would kind of mix that up as it got closer to the thing that eventually happens in the show. It was pretty wild. Like it's pretty great, and especially considering the show's like 10, 12 years old, it was pretty awesome writing. People keep telling me to watch Mr. Robot. Yeah. I mean, it's, yeah, White Rose is their name. Yeah, it's, I mean, it's a great show. It's wonderful. It's a little too close to home, I think, with all the Flock stuff going on. It'd be hard to rewatch it right now. Yeah, I guess I can't say anything about the show because like within the first season, you have so many crazy twists and turns and it keeps being the thing that you don't think it is. And yeah, it's pretty wild. So you can't really talk about it. Oh my God. The Leftovers. Yes. I've not watched Legion, but now the fact that you said I loved Legion and The Leftovers means I'm going to watch Legion because I thought The Leftovers was one of the most outstanding TV series I've ever seen in my life. I loved that so much. Everything about it. Like honestly, the first season was the hardest for me. And the first season is like the one that most people love the most. But the first season, I got through. I enjoyed it. I said, yeah, we'll give the second season a try. The second and third seasons, so good. So incredible. So amazing. I was just thinking about it last night. I was thinking about The Leftovers because I was hunting the robot dogs, and I was like using like thermal to like try and find them and stuff. And I was like, God, I feel like the guy from The Leftovers who just hunts dogs. What else is there? Yeah, Legion. I'll check that out. But yeah, The Leftovers is so outstanding. And one of the most outstanding shows I've ever seen in my life. And it's such a weird one that I never would have expected. It probably took me 3 episodes to realize how great it is Mr. In Between. Oh my God, is that a good show? It's so casually good. Yeah, I don't know. I cannot recommend that show enough. And it's funny because I've recommended that show to so many people and they've been like, yeah, I don't know, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. And then 2 weeks later, they'd be like, I binged the entire thing and it's probably the best thing I've ever seen. Like, it's so well done. The movie, God, what's the name? Yeah, I saw it. I forgot the name. He references it. It's referenced in like the 3rd season of the show. The Magician, right? Yeah. Imagine telling past Ben that you would go hunting at night with thermal imaging for robot dogs. Yeah. Yeah, I probably would have moved somewhere far away. Yeah, but Mr. In Between is such an easy watch. It's like an easy show to watch. Like, there's not much commitment required because it's like 30-minute episodes. They're funny. They move fast. Like, it's an easy show to get through. Yeah. I thought I had another one in the chamber here, but I guess not. Anyway, I guess it's about that time. If I only had time to watch a show. I only have time to get back to work. But thanks for watching and have a good weekend. And Ben's super sidebar, one last thing, I guess. Let's see. Is it possible to get hold music to not sound so distorted? Spent hours today trying to get George Benson to sound decent. Maybe if I mix it a certain way. It's your lab. You got to figure this one out. I don't know. Nah, I mean, cell phone quality sucks. Phone quality sucks. I don't understand why hold music exists, personally. But that's because I'm a musician. And the one thing that I could be doing when I'm on hold is making music or playing an instrument, but I have to listen to the fucking hold music, which I'm just like, come on, can I just listen to like maybe every 5 seconds something like that, like just some sort of like something to indicate that I'm still on the line without the hold music, or maybe give me, press 1 for hold music, press 2 for an occasional click. There you go. There's your $1 million idea. All right. Take care, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend. See you soon.